Hi, I'm John with Orange ModWorks, and this is going to be an overview of our new Core, Strongarm, and Disruptor Classic System kit. When you receive your kit, it will actually be shrink wrapped in plastic, but I've removed it for the video. Starting with the front of the box, down here we have some kit information and dart compatibility. So this is long dart compatible or stock dart compatible. It comes with a 7 kilogram spring, and it is the classic system. Flipping it over to the back, we have an exploded view of the kit and how it fits in the blaster. The blaster shell is clear and the kit is in black and chrome. The velocity test comparison chart is here in the middle of the box, and because this kit is for strong arms and disruptors, we have two velocity charts. The disruptor gets slightly higher muzzle velocities than the strong arm. Not quite sure why, but these are the results. And down here we have our design team who worked on this kit. So industrial design was Kate and Kevin, engineering was myself and Ben, graphic design was Kevin, and project coordination was Jimmy. Here we have our Facebook, Twitter, and website. So let's open it up. To open the box, it pulls out like this. I like to hold here so the box doesn't rip. This was a little bit squished when I received it, so it was a little tricky. Yours should open more easily. And inside, first thing you'll have is the kit in its bag, nice and sealed. We have a Orange ModWorks contact card, logo on the front, website on the back for the guides and installation guides. In the bottom of the box, there is a content sheet, which I would strongly recommend that you keep. It's got a nice plastic finish on it, even though it is made of cardstock, but it has all of the kit components and their names. So if you need to contact us for technical support or have a question about one of the components, you can refer to this as a guide. So moving the top of the box aside, I'm going to tear the bag open and dump it into the kit box. This helps keep all your parts together. So there's two tear tabs on the bag. You can use scissors or just rip it open if you don't have scissors. And dump out the kit. Right, so first thing we have here are two triggers because Disruptor and the Strong Arm have different triggers. Even though the rest of the components are interchangeable, the triggers are not. So let's take a look at the triggers first. I think most of you have seen a strong arm trigger before. That's what it looks like. And the finish of this trigger is different. The tooling for these parts were redone from the previous strong arm kit. So we have a smoother and more shiny finish on the classic Orange ModWorks trigger. On the Disruptor trigger, you have a little bit more of a stone-washed finish. It's smooth edges. There's no like mold flashing or rough bits like in our earlier iterations of metal parts from back in the day. These are a little bit more refined and polished. So you have Strong Arm and Disruptor. Setting that aside, let's move on to a little bag of essentials and miscellaneous parts you need to install the kit. So all the small components, that's springs, grease, stickers, the seal and everything, will come sealed in their own separate bag, so you don't lose them when you open up the main kit bag. So let's carefully dump those out. So as usual, we have two trigger catch springs. These are very easily lost, especially in the Strong Arm and Disruptor, so we include two of them. There are two trigger springs because the kit comes with two triggers, and if you choose to install the kit into one blaster and a trigger in another blaster, you have the spring for that. Here we have a improved foam seal. This sticks onto the front of the plunger tube and replaces the original factory foam seal. In these blasters, when you fire, the entire plunger moves forward to seal against the cylinder, and the stock seal tends to either degrade over time, or a lot of times from the factory it's not stuck like perfectly on. They'll be sort of off to one side and you won't get a good seal. So with the kit, you can peel off the old one, stick on this new one. The adhesive is really, really strong. so it won't go anywhere once it's installed. And we have our plunger O-ring here. It's a little tricky doing O-rings for stock plungers because the plastic plungers tend to be tapered. So this O-ring is a little bit thicker than the stock O-ring and offers a more consistent seal in those stock plungers. And the grease is the same as previous grease. It comes sealed in this tube that you have to puncture with the cap. So this is way more grease than you actually need for your blaster, so you can use it on other projects. Please do not try and use the entire tube in your blaster. It's not a good idea. You just need a little bit on the O-ring. And for the new series of kits, we have new stickers. These are the core stickers. Might be kind of hard to see with the white background, but they are white lettering on a clear sticker. So when you stick them on something with a darker background, you'll be able to see the lettering. All right, so let's pack these up so we don't lose the springs. And move on to the plunger rod, trigger catch, and the T-pole. So first of all, this piece is only for the disruptor. If you are installing this kit in a disruptor, you will use the disruptor trigger and this T-pole. The Strongarm does not have any space in the back of the shell for something like this, but what this does is it slides into the slot on the priming slide and lets you prime your blaster like this, or even one side or the other, but I recommend priming it with 2 fingers. It makes it a lot easier to prime because the disruptor has some like decorative markings on top of the slide that kind of dig into your hand after a while, especially if you're using the stronger 7 kilogram spring. All right, and here we have some familiar looking pieces. We have the trigger catch and plunger rod assembly. Unlike the previous Strongarm kit, this will come fully assembled with the spring and slamfire catch installed. Other than that, it is a Strongarm plunger rod, similar to our previous kit. The key difference here is the slamfire catch has been completely redone. This is not a rehash of the old catch. This is completely new tooling and heavily revised design from our first catch, because with the early Strongarm kits, there were some issues with this breaking, and on the very first run of Strongarm kits, slamfire was disabled. This piece is a new material with a much more robust design, and it comes with the slamfire capability right out of the box. The only downside to this is we have made the back of this catch completely solid, so it is much more difficult to remove from the plunger rod. If you have to remove it for whatever reason, you can do so by gently working it out with a flathead screwdriver, but that should be unnecessary as everything comes ready to go out of the box. The trigger catch is the tooling has been reworked, but this is almost identical to the old Strongarm catch. I think this piece has a higher fiber fill to make it more rigid though. That might be the main difference between this and the original kits. The finish is a little bit different as well, but it's essentially the same part. So that is a first look at the Strongarm and Disruptor kit from our new core series of kits. Thanks for watching.